Komið þið sæl, hjá mér sestur Erik Hjörleifsson, en myndin Hoji verður sýnd í Bíó Paradís og hún fjallar einmitt hann Erik. Við ætlum að tala eins við Erik, en við ætlum fyrst að kíkja á þessa mögnuðu stiklu.
Started filming with Matchstick in 2004. I was 21 years old. Ruined my life.
I really don't think Hoji's slowing down. If anything, he's getting better, like fine wine.
Já, þetta hreinlega mögnuð mynd og verður. En hi Erik, thanks for seeing me.
Well, yeah, thank you for having me.
Straight from the plane.
Straight from the plane.
Tell me, now you are a free skier, a professional free skier. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah. No, I've been very fortunate. I've grown up on the west side of Canada, born in the Canadian Rockies.
Yeah.
So I was exposed to skiing at a very young age, and my parents were both avid skiers, and yeah, kind of got my brother and I into the sport when we were quite young, and allowed us to learn pretty quickly and put us into ski racing, and did that for a few years. And that was kind of right as the sport of skiing was changing quite rapidly, and this new style of skiing, free riding, was kind of being invented, let's say, by people all over the world. And I immediately kind of was drawn to that as a young teenager, and pursued that for many years, and have had a long career filming in mountains.
But when were you determined to be like a professional free skier? Was there a certain time in your life when you were like, yes, I'm going to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably watching some of the early ski films that I was able to see back then, renting them on VHS tapes from the video store. And then that was kind of like the first time you would see people skiing, let's say, professionally in a way, that weren't ski racers or mogul skiers. They were out in the mountains skiing aggressive terrain and doing tricks and catching big air. And so immediately, that was, yeah, I was like, I want to do tricks. I want to catch big air.
So the movies were a great impact on you, and so these movies, these ski films that we're doing right now, they must influence people, and especially young people, to become professionals.
Yeah, I think as it's kind of the action sports culture, you know, you see it in many of these sports that have kind of developed a lot in the last 20 years. It's the kids that are exposed to, you know, this high level of skiing or riding or whatever sport it is. They are drawn to that, and they want, you know, kids, they can do anything. So they watch it a few times or hundreds of times if they really like it, and then they can go and try somehow. And it's the youth that really drives the progression of these sports, which are based on progression. Everyone wants to see the next new thing, the next best move.
Of course, and the athletes always become younger and younger.
Yes.
But to do this type of sport, do you have to be a bit fearless, or is fear maybe very important?
I think it's always good to have fear. You know, that's actually what keeps you, keeps yourself safe. It helps you make decisions. But at the same time, you have to enjoy fear. So. It's that kind of risk-reward, which is also a youthful kind of mentality. So when you're young, you just think of the reward, and you're willing to jump off something, and you don't really understand real pain or bad injuries yet, probably. So as you grow older, you see this happen, or it happens to you, and then you become more cautious, let's say.
Fear kind of grows with you in these type of sport. Have you ever been in life-threatening situations or had a life-threatening injury?
Certainly not life-threatening, but I've had, many injuries, and I've been in kind of rescue situations where we're helping people. You know, part of our team of people, someone gets in an avalanche and you have to get to them. But fortunately, for how much I've done it, it's always been a very positive outcome, and not actually having to dig someone out from meters under the snow or anything like that and resuscitate them. But I mean, that's part of the risk, and it certainly happens.
But about Hoji, you yourself, you're called Hoji, and the name of the film is Hoji. But what is it? What does Hoji mean?
Well, it's kind of the byproduct of the North American community not understanding the pronunciation of my last name with the H and the J, which comes from Iceland. So growing up, it was always a big confusion. Whenever someone had to read your name, or they would just panic. They're like, it's just not in the English language very much at all. So that kind of transformed. Sometimes I was being called Hjorleifsson, and like just kind of bad pronunciations, and eventually that got shortened to Hoj somehow, and then Hoji, and it was just a kind of over, I guess, probably 5 or 6 years within the group of skiers I was working and filming with. It just evolved into Hoji, and then that, it got spread throughout the skiing community and the industry, and then now the film's called Hoji, so I'm forever Hoji now.
Yes. The film Hoji will be in Bíóparadís tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see Icelandic, very many Icelandic people there, and there will be. Congratulations on your film, and thank you for visiting us here at Hringbraut.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for having me.